Why is this the world we live in? So I told myself I wanted to make different, shorter videos about more timely theme park news to make up for the fact that my normal videos, well, let's just say the Walt Disney World Quest Magical Racing Tour video game from 2000 isn't making headlines on Apple News. But what's the first big piece of news I see when I decide to do this? Of course, it's MrBeast, a guy with at least 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, is making his own theme park. That's right, guys, it's what all us Americans have always wanted. Damn it, it's opening in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, so the Beastland theme park will be opening specifically for the Riyadh season, which is like a giant entertainment event that's been happening in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia since 2019. It's usually just a bunch of concerts and sporting events and other stuff going on. I mean, last year it even had its own Harry Potter event thing. Wow, how fitting. The park is set to open on November 13th, 2025. Jeez, that's really soon. I'm honestly surprised we're just hearing about it right now. I mean, maybe there was something MrBeast put out about it earlier, I don't know. But every news site just started reporting on it recently, so they honestly might have just been keeping quiet about it. But I guess Beastland doesn't need to have a lot of time from reveal to launch because it's not being described as your typical theme park. Even though the concept art would make you think otherwise. Like, bro, that is a full-on arrow looper right there. But honestly, that's what I like to call a marketing coaster. You know, the type of generic coaster loop you see companies like Six Flags advertise despite having much better rides at their park. And it's all because this design out of everything, for whatever reason, screams roller coaster the most. But yeah, I mean, from the concept art, you can see some rides, including a couple coasters, but those aren't arrow loopers. If I'm guessing, they're probably smaller family coasters or maybe some powered coasters like those SBF Visas that usually crop up at fairs and FECs. But the big thing that James Beastables is advertising is the park will have different games that guests can participate in that are similar to different videos of his. So like, we get to do the one where he chained people up to their exes for money. Time to go call my ex-wife. I guess one of the games is called Tower Siege, where you have to catapult balls into tubes. You know, just a day in the life of YouTube's king there. And then there's Drop Zone, which isn't the Kings Island drop tower, unfortunately. It's actually like a thing where you stand on trap doors and like drop, I guess. And then there's Dungeon Escape, which is like a race through a maze against your opponents. God, people are going to be so sweaty. The whole park will have this kind of neon aesthetic to it, which I guess is fine, and it's just meant to bring the vibe of the stunts and craziness performed in all his videos to real life. I guess tickets are going to range anywhere from like $7 US, which I will say is pretty good, all the way up to like $66 for the premium Beast Mode Plus pass that I guess includes unlimited access to all the rides and attractions. And hey, speaking of that, what other rides are here? Well, we don't really know yet. I mean, we can go off the concept art. Other than the two coasters, there seem to be some pretty generic looking flat rides, but nothing super special that you can't find at your local state fair. I guess they'll be thrilling at least. Oh wait, and there is a drop tower. Man, a drop tower and drop zone in the same place? This really is Kings Island. Now, there's still a lot of other unanswered questions right now besides just the exact rides and manufacturers. Like, no one really knows the actual park size or the footprint or the capacity or what safety and regulation standards there are. And for something that's aligned with MrBeast, I'd want to know that stuff personally. There's also some less serious stuff that's just not out there that I'd love to hear about. Like, how do you make sure that everyone can participate in the games if they want to? Or will MrBeast ever expand this into other countries like the US? And what kind of food and merch is going to be on offer? Can I get a Feastable? I hope not. And kind of the biggest issue looming in most people's minds is, why the hell is this in Saudi Arabia? Like, I mean, the obvious answer is probably money. Saudi Arabia is paying out lots of money to get big names over there and rebrand themselves as a massive entertainment destination. I mean, just look at Six Flags Qiddiya down the road. But to get kind of serious and be a downer for a second, like, even though all that new shiny stuff is cool, it doesn't really mask the fact that Saudi Arabia has quite the silly fun history of human rights issues. I guess when Jim was asked about why he chose Saudi Arabia, he said it's because his audience is global and that he has a pretty big audience in the Middle East, which, like, yeah, I don't doubt that, but like, you're the biggest YouTuber on the planet. Your audience is going to be huge everywhere. That can't be the main reason why. Like, even if your fan base is huge in the Middle East, I doubt it's the biggest out of anywhere else. And hey, even if it is, maybe the various restrictions of civil liberties and freedoms and stuff should be enough to deter you. I don't know. This might still be a good product to offer and a fun place to visit. I'm not going to take that away from it. But I just think the question of whether or not partnering with an entertainment venture in a country with very well-known and documented human rights issues gives a sort of indirect support that just shouldn't be happening. I actually saw this term I had never heard of before called sports washing, where basically countries use large-scale events like entertainment or sporting events to try to improve their image instead of, improving the lives of the people that live there. It kind of reminded me of a few years back when Qatar hosted the World Cup, when the country had significant issues with women's rights and other fun, cool, great stuff. So that's just something to think about. But yeah, that's Beastland. It's kind of a weird, confusing thing that I'll definitely keep tabs on when it opens. Probably by watching some sort of opening day vlog where a guy wins a Tesla by successfully jumping over the tracks of a roller coaster. Sounds fun, Jimmy.